Technology promises progress, but sometimes it delivers spectacular failure. From exploding phones to buggy operating systems and skyrocketing medical fraud, the world has seen innovation collide with disaster in painful ways. In this video, we'll uncover 10 colossal tech failures that racked up multi-billion-dollar losses, shook industries, and made headlines worldwide. These aren't rumors. Each story is backed by investigations, audits, and court filings. Let's dive in.
24 hours ago, the company was only saying that it was going to temporarily adjust production of the phone. Now it says it's going to permanently discontinue it.
Number 1. Samsung Galaxy Note 7, when phones became fire hazards, 2016. In August 2016, Samsung launched the flagship Galaxy Note 7, but within days, users reported batteries overheating and in some cases catching fire. Samsung initiated a global recall in September, replacing faulty units, only to have the replacements fail too. By October, Samsung permanently halted production. Estimates vary, but one Reuters investigation pegged total losses at $17 billion from manufacturing halts, recall, and reputational damage. The cost included manufacturing, shipping, refunds, marketing losses, and R&D into battery safety. While Samsung survived, the Note 7 remains a case study in how a safety oversight can spiral into industry-wide fallout. Number 2. Microsoft Windows Vista, a $6 billion misfire, 2006 to 2007. Microsoft unveiled Windows Vista in 2006 amid high expectations. However, it was plagued by hardware compatibility issues, a clunky user interface, and a notorious Vista-capable sticker scandal, where PCs incapable of running the OS were mislabeled. Even as Vista sold over 180 million licenses, licenses didn't equate to satisfaction. Return rates soared as businesses and consumers stuck with Windows XP. Costs ballooned. Estimates from Microsoft's own documents suggest over $6 billion in development and marketing expenses, and a broader impact of around $12 to $18 billion when hardware and support issues are considered. The result: Microsoft rushed Windows 7, distancing itself from Vista's troubled legacy.
Google's Glass is really the first huge push to get useful augmented reality into the hands of everyone.
Number 3. Google Glass, augmented reality or augmented privacy panic, 2013 to 2015. Back in 2013, Google Glass represented the future wearable AR glasses that could stream video and overlay digital information, but the product quickly stumbled on cost, US $1,500, privacy concerns, and a lack of compelling use cases. By 2015, Google canceled the Public Glass Explorer program. The company reportedly lost $850 million on the initiative, covering hardware development, software, marketing, and failure to scale. The failure highlighted a critical lesson: innovation without utility and public acceptance is short-lived.
I think this is a very embarrassing episode for Wall Street.
And of course, everybody's sort of saying that there's a trend of these. We've got bats in the NASDAQ.
Number 4. Knight Capital Group, a $440 million software meltdown, 2012. In August 2012, US trading firm Knight Capital Group accidentally unleashed outdated trading code into production. Within 45 minutes, the rogue software executed trades erratically, buying and selling millions of shares at disastrous prices. By day's end, Knight faced a staggering $440 million loss, nearly its annual earnings, brought on by a single software error. The firm ultimately shuttered its independent operations and was acquired. The event underscores the dangers of rushed code deployment in high-frequency trading systems where milliseconds matter.
Elizabeth Holmes is charged with defrauding patients and investors during her time as Silicon Valley's golden girl. She was the founder and CEO of Theranos.
Number 5. Theranos, the $9 billion medical tech mirage, 2003 to 2018. Founded by Elizabeth Holmes in 2003, Theranos promised to revolutionize blood testing with its tiny Edison device, capable of hundreds of tests from a single drop of blood. Investors poured in over $700 million, valuing the company at $9 billion. Walgreens even planned in-store Theranos blood testing, but in 2015, the Wall Street Journal revealed that Edison produced produced unreliable results, hidden by Theranos executives. Regulators responded swiftly: FDA inspections, CMS sanctions, voided results, and bans. Theranos collapsed in 2018. Holmes was convicted of fraud, and investors watched their billions vanish. The scandal reshaped biotech due diligence. Investors now demand rigorous, transparent data.
The same healthcare workers are now on the street protesting. Very recently, Britain saw the largest ever NHS strike.
Just listen. They're still not listening. They're still saying, you know, the NHS doesn't have the money.
Number 6. NHS Connecting for Health, a UK IT disaster, 2002 to 2013. The UK's National Health Service launched a modernization program in 2002, building digital health records and infrastructure. Originally budgeted at £2.3 billion, actual spending ballooned to over £12 billion, with audits citing mismanagement and limited clinical benefit. By 2013, key contracts were scrapped, yet legacy costs lingered. Lord Edward Lee called it one of the worst and most expensive contracting fiascos ever. Unlike private sector misses, this public failure affected patients and policy across Britain, showing that large-scale tech in healthcare demands oversight and flexibility.
What is Newton? Newton is digital. Newton is personal. Newton is magic. Newton is as powerful as a computer.
Number 7. Apple Newton, ahead of its time, 1993 to 1998. When Apple introduced the Newton in 1993, it envisioned a world of handheld digital assistants. But handwritten note recognition was wildly inaccurate. Devices were bulky, and they cost hundreds of dollars, too expensive to attract consumers. By 1998, Apple discontinued Newton after losing around $100 million in hardware, software, marketing, and support. Despite its failure, Newton laid the groundwork for later innovations, most notably the iPhone, but its commercial flop serves as a reminder. Visionary tech must match user needs. Number 8. Microsoft Zune, the iPod rival that fizzled, 2006 to 2012. In an attempt to challenge Apple's rising dominance in the portable music player market, Microsoft launched the Zune in 2006. It arrived with features like wireless syncing, FM radio, and tight integration with Windows, which were relatively unique at the time. Despite this, Zune failed to gain traction in a market that was already dominated by the iPod and Apple's increasingly cohesive ecosystem. Zune's downfall wasn't due to a lack of innovation, but rather poor timing and marketing missteps. Microsoft struggled to position the Zune as a compelling alternative. The device lacked the sleek appeal of the iPod, had fewer accessories and apps, and was backed by a less charismatic brand image. Apple, meanwhile, was doubling down on iTunes, iPhones, and the iPod Touch, leaving Zune outpaced in both hardware and content delivery. By 2011, Microsoft announced the end of Zune's production, and by 2012, the brand was officially discontinued. The company reported a total loss of around $289 million on the project. Though the loss wasn't catastrophic by Microsoft standards, Zune remains one of the most cited examples of how even tech giants can miss the mark in product strategy, especially when arriving late to a fast-moving market.
A woman was killed after being struck in a Phoenix suburb by a self-driving Uber vehicle.
Number 9. Uber's self-driving car crash, reputational fallout, 2018. In March 2018, an Uber self-driving test vehicle struck and killed a pedestrian, Elaine Hertzberg, in Tempe, Arizona. The car was in autonomous mode with a safety driver behind the wheel, but the onboard system failed to identify the pedestrian correctly in time. Investigators later found that Uber's software recognized Hertzberg 6 seconds before impact, but due to flawed object classification and a built-in delay in emergency responses, it didn't break. The safety driver was also distracted, reportedly watching a show on her phone. This made it the first recorded pedestrian fatality involving an autonomous vehicle. The incident led Uber to suspend all testing nationwide and reportedly cost the company hundreds of millions in legal settlements, reputational damage, and delayed product development. Eventually, Uber shut down its self-driving unit, selling it to Aurora in 2020. This tragic event became a turning point in the autonomous vehicle industry, sparking new debates around AI ethics, road safety, and the limits of technology without human accountability. Number 10. CrowdStrike IT update, global $10 billion cost, 2024. On July 19th, 2024, cybersecurity giant CrowdStrike, a trusted name in endpoint protection, accidentally released a faulty update to its widely used Falcon sensor software. The update, intended to enhance security on Windows systems, instead triggered triggered a massive wave of system crashes, rendering millions of devices inoperable. Within hours, the impact was felt globally. Over 8.5 million computers were affected, including systems critical to airports, hospitals, banks, government agencies, and energy utilities. Airlines were hit especially hard. Delta Airlines alone reported losses of over $550 million due to grounded flights, missed connections, and extensive refund operations. Major airports experienced check-in system failures, air traffic control delays, and canceled flights, while banks and healthcare providers faced temporary shutdowns and service interruptions. Though CrowdStrike acted quickly to reverse the update and issue patches, the damage had already been done. By the end of the week, global losses were estimated to exceed $10 billion, making it the most expensive IT outage in history.
The biggest single-day drop for a U.S. company ever, losing nearly $100 billion in just one day.
Number 11, Facebook's $119 billion stock plunge, 2018. In July 2018, Facebook, now Meta, experienced the largest one-day loss in stock market history, shedding an astonishing $119 billion in market value in under 24 hours. The collapse followed a quarterly earnings call where the company missed revenue expectations and warned of slowing user growth and rising privacy-related costs following the Cambridge Analytica scandal. This wasn't just a financial hiccup, it was a wake-up call to the tech world about the true cost of user trust. Facebook had already faced intense scrutiny for mishandling user data, and new regulations like GDPR in Europe were beginning to bite. Investors saw these headwinds as long-term threats to Facebook's business model, which relies heavily on targeted advertising. Although Facebook eventually recovered its market value, the 2018 plunge showed that even a tech titan could be punished brutally for privacy missteps, algorithm changes, and public perception.
Flights canceled across the U.S. after the president announced the grounding of all Boeing 737 MAX flights.
Number 12. Boeing 737 MAX grounding, a $20 billion crisis, 2019 to 2020. Though Boeing is primarily an aerospace giant, the software failure that led to the global grounding of the 737 MAX is one of the most devastating tech-related collapses in modern history. After two fatal crashes in 2018 and 2019 killed 346 people, investigations revealed a critical flaw in the MCAS, Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, a software-based flight control system. Boeing had failed to adequately inform airlines and pilots about the system or how to disable it. The result was not only the worldwide grounding of over 380 aircraft, but a massive reputational disaster. By 2020, Boeing had incurred an estimated $20 billion in direct costs, including production halts, customer compensation, legal settlements, and safety upgrades. The incident reshaped the aviation industry's relationship with software and AI in safety-critical systems, highlighting what happens when cost-cutting, overconfidence, and opaque engineering converge.
To address the recent security research findings reported as Meltdown and Spectre. And the collaboration among so many companies to address this industry-wide issue across several different processor architectures has been truly remarkable.
Number 13, Intel's Meltdown and Spectre security flaws, $5 billion in fallout, 2018. In early 2018, researchers disclosed two major vulnerabilities in modern processors, Meltdown and Spectre, which affected nearly every device made in the past 2 decades. These flaws allowed attackers to access sensitive information such as passwords, private keys, and more by exploiting the very architecture of how CPUs optimize tasks through speculative execution. Intel, whose chips powered most servers and consumer PCs, was hit hardest. The company faced lawsuits, security patches that slowed down computers by up to 30%, and immense costs related to replacing vulnerable hardware, redesigning future chips, and maintaining customer trust. Estimates of Intel's financial exposure from mitigation, customer settlements, and lost market share range from $3 billion to $5 billion.
WeWork is gearing up for its IPO. It filed to go public Wednesday after losing $1.9 billion last year. It follows several other big money-losing companies like Uber and Lyft that have also gone public this year as well. The filings reveal some lofty goals. It says its mission is to elevate the world's consciousness.
Number 14, WeWork's failed IPO, $40 billion vanished, 2019. While not a traditional tech firm, WeWork branded itself as a tech startup to attract investors, boasting AI-powered workspaces and hypergrowth potential. By 2019, it was valued at $47 billion and poised for a record-setting IPO. Then came the reality check. SEC filings revealed massive financial losses, questionable corporate governance, and an eccentric CEO, Adam Neumann, with bizarre spending habits and controlling voting power. Investors recoiled. The IPO was pulled, the valuation cratered to $8 billion, and SoftBank was forced into a $9.5 billion bailout. Altogether, WeWork's failed IPO wiped out more than $40 billion in private valuation, tarnished investor confidence in tech-enabled unicorns, and became a cautionary tale for startup hype over hard metrics. Despite a later public debut via SPAC, WeWork never recovered the trust or the capital it once commanded. Number 15, Verizon Go90, streaming gone wrong, $1.2 billion loss. In 2015, Verizon Communications, one of the largest telecom giants in the US, entered the increasingly crowded streaming wars with a bold new platform called Go90. Designed specifically for mobile users, especially millennials and Gen Z, Go90 was meant to be a mobile-first video app that blended short-form entertainment with social media features. The name itself came from the idea that users would go 90 degrees by turning their phones sideways to watch video content. Backed by aggressive investment, Verizon poured nearly $1.2 billion into Go90 over a few years, including $400 million to acquire AOL, which would manage the platform, and later $1.6 billion for Yahoo in hopes of expanding its content and tech ecosystem. Go90 also signed multiple expensive content deals with major creators, YouTube stars, and production studios in an attempt to stock the platform with premium exclusive content. But from the start, Go90 failed to resonate with its intended audience. The app's interface was clunky, the content lacked cohesion, and users were confused about its purpose. It wasn't social enough to compete with YouTube or Instagram, and it wasn't polished or deep enough to rival Netflix, Hulu, or even Facebook Watch. To make matters worse, Verizon's internal team struggled to integrate Go90 with its broader ecosystem, leading to fragmentation, miscommunication, and poor strategy alignment. By 2018, Verizon had seen enough. The company quietly shut down Go90, writing off the entire project. Analysts estimate the total loss, including content licensing, platform development, marketing, and internal reorganization, was around $1.2 billion. Go90's collapse stands as a reminder that even tech giants with deep pockets can't simply buy their way into the content game. 10 tech catastrophes show that innovation alone isn't enough. Without rigorous testing, responsible leadership, and a strong dose of humility, even the most promising projects can cost billions, damage reputations, and shake entire industries. From exploding phones to flawed software and fraudulent biotech, the lesson is clear. Big tech misses hurt everyone. If you found this eye-opening, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who believes tech's always unstoppable. Let us know which fail shocked you most. Sound off in the comments.